I'm curious, can anybody else see that blue? Would that indicate anything? Because, like, with the freaking in the pupil, I'm just saying, that's like kind of freaking. Anyways, because, like, with ultraviolet and MK and everything else, maybe it just reflects. A little crazy. So I get a blue, a red, and like a multicolor, and a white dot in my eyeballs. Hold on. In my eyeballs. And now when I see the TV upstairs, it's rainbow. Like a shimmer one on my fucking head. Now another thing is, when I got back out yesterday, the dreamscape shit, I got knocked with another one. This one, kind of like the golf course, but I was upstairs trying to get a light on. And kept fucking with the light. Couldn't get it on. Everything kind of heard some kind of eerie. And then fall behind the fucking recliner with their nice electrical, like rapist type hands. Paralyzed. Freaking, like I'm going to be dragged underground. And I couldn't even muster, like but it was almost like the one before where you wake up in a dream or it's dark, you're looking at something. Then you wake up to be paralyzed, but hear everything outside and then wake up again. Or one before that, the native construct one, some like with the hair, and then freaking, I went to get my ruler, and I got my ruler, and then we ended up talking, and it was to show the one that, does anybody else, or paralyzed, tasered, suffocated, freaking, electrocuted, like, have you had one where you walk up, or in your dream, and there's like a thimble, and and blown out of your fucking sleep? Or right when you nod off, like electric, like a static to your freaking melon? Or like a thought, like almost like an epiphany, and then right to the center, or freaking what other one? Like a coin, like any kind of yawner, or talking, and then like anything to wake you, no, or so vivid dream to where, I mean, you repeat it every time you go back to sleep to the same spot, same place to keep continuous doing it, or like you see this dude, and then next thing you know, you're blind, they're beating you up. Trying to swing back and everything, you can't, and then being suffocated, like, but this is how you can tell. It's like when you look at them, their head's gone on me, like it's just the butt, and then just suffocate. I mean, anybody been in any of the dreamscapes where like someone jumps on top of you and starts tasering you, or elaborate ass like the paralysis, because it usually comes in threes. That's what initiated my freaking group in the first place and everything else. And this shit's, or the black cat, how about right when you're about to nod off, like a throws you in and your freaking eyes, and you're just being tasered from the sternum. Or the black spider, like the shadow, like it kind of goes in a little, and it just, anything, because these are like freaking not just normal. I mean, these are literally freaking just incredible, literally electrocuting freaking. I ended up breaking out of them. To where when you're being tasered and you can open your eyes and see the room, like, you don't understand how hard it is to come out of sleep like that. The fight, I almost feel like I'm going to die, and I wore out every bit of energy. I mean, you would think you would just wait. No, the fight to force yourself out of sleep under them conditions is stupid. Sometimes I'll have a couple rounds trying to open my freaking, hey, hi, Dawn's, and I'll try to freaking come up, and you can't. And then it'll take a couple times, and I get out, but I can literally open and see it, and then back in, and it's literally like more, and then I hear the person, okay, like a dude freaking in the background. Then sometimes I'll wake up to, or right before I wake up, I'll hear some like conversations. Like I could have swore I heard at the shirt shop something about they went up $7 or something, showing someone how to do it. I heard a chick telling another chick on how they got a car because they had a baby, and like they were in church or something, because I heard a woman say it's Jesus' turn to speak. And freaking let's see, we're talking about road trips. It's 400 miles there, but it's actually 150 back. Here's some seals from Nevada. I mean, it's like conversations that are happening, influencing, but each night is a freaking. But that dream, anybody else had the evasive freaking literally, or like the hands to where you're just in your room and it's like really dark setting, and then I'm in the bed, and then these electrical, like just right from behind, hands grab you, or I mean, the shit's getting so much more worse. The very first one ever was the paralysis, and this shit's gotten now. And even like where you're in the dream where you don't know your family's dead, with the killer that ain't the killer, that you don't know your family's wrapped in that seems like freaking just eternity, and then you walk out the door and just, I mean, just morbid fucking shit, like different patterns, how I'll interact with people, like each person, or different scenarios, or different freaking everything's. And I was in prison for, never in my life had anything like these. These are freaking so insane. But like this one last night, with that again, twice. It was like the golf course, like some rollers. The second one, I remember like a roller foot shoe or going back. But that one with thing, and I kept trying to do light, and it was almost like the one I had here before. When I was looking at something, I woke up and it was like really dark, and then I woke up to be paralyzed, and then woke up to like a triple four. But that one's like I fell behind and paralyzed, like I was going to be taken. And these are not like a dream. I mean, these are, you can tell, like everything about them is its own standard. So it's not a nightmare. Well, it is a nightmare, but these are, yeah, it's called dreamscapes. I'm just curious, any others, yeah, or anybody around town or anything else? Because these are all very important freaking things, tracking down, because I know who they are and I know where it started. It's just like my back, yeah, and where the shit comes from. I even know how it works. It operates, how everything does, because I was the very first one. It was an accidental thing that freaking I survived too long. They have in my mind because, well, how I think. Now I start watching all my ideas pop up as YouTube videos. I start seeing them in the community, ideas and stuff and explanations on things. I mean, yeah, so they're still stealing all my shit on all my freaking, with the everything, higher conscious divinity, freaking, you pick it from psychology to literally to forethought, like conscious awareness, from innate to instinctive versus consciously, coherently, consciously making a freaking, and you know what I mean, and how and all the different things and how they all relate. And then I start seeing all the videos and shit starts popping up and all this other shit going on. I'm like, so amazingly enough, this shit is, and just like with credits, how the freaking credit unconscious shit on how to fix that with the tariffs and how the merchandise things went under. And let's see, what else did I give them? Pretty much drugs for clunkers, freaking pride for neighborhoods on how to reestablish by reconstituting freaking its initialist at, like here, like what is store, and then bring, you know what I mean, having it in more of a prideful way, have your whatever, and freaking by getting others, just like with the farm, seceding and going to the freaking back to the meat and taters and getting rid of it and let them go back to their own thing, and what the state was and how it's like I give all these, and now I'm slowly watching all this shit transpire and taking place, just like with volcano and drought. You mean everything, it's like it pops up, because I was trying to think with California, they're the first ones to recognize human life, and then they had all the fires, and that's why I was trying to, so I started, I mean, looking back on that. That's what drought and everything else, and I was thinking like with the fruit trees and all that, establishing boundaries that would, you know, I mean, lock in the moisture and everything else. You can preserve the other, but you know what I mean, start and allowing something, you know, rain, and better start freaking out. And I was trying to figure out the drought, you know what I mean, because places don't just do that, especially if they already have vegetation and everything else. Like here, you don't just dry out. I mean, a drought, it's the groundwater, and that's the whole reason for it, because most of it, that's where it's from. Water comes, water table and everything else with the freak. I mean, and that's usually how that works. And freaking, that's when I came to, that's what I believe is that. And it makes more sense how that would happen, because that would, just like with volcanoes, with freaking, and earthquakes being fallen vents instead of being fissures or tectonic plates. No, the water, oceans, water is a very, very heavy, and it's I mean, the force downward, and you think about it, break up our earth like it used to be, and the different bodies of water, that's the force pushing down with the pressure, forcing outward, that creates the freaking, where everything meets, which would be the lava, you know what I mean, because that friction, and that's actually the force of the water, the force from both ways pushing inward, and that's where you would get that. And then as that comes, like, because I was always trying to figure out, like, well, kill it with displacement. Well, where the hell, how does that actually just, you don't just, just build, I mean, just, manifest more. I mean, there's got to be some kind of fucking what? So I started thinking, and what do you know? It's got to be earthquakes. And if you follow the lane, it's the vents collapsing, and then take the mountain ranges, they equate almost over. So you could break down the different areas and the different, from the Appalachians to the Rockies to the freaking Sierras. And being Arizona, Grand Canyon, it wasn't Colorado. That was the last blowout from Yosemite, and that would be one of the vents blown out where because of the hydrogen effect from the water. So that would cause that one. That was a collapse. And then you would have each one, you mean as initial stages, and then you have the mountain ranges, the three. So you can actually see how many times and where everything was. And that wasn't Pangea then. It's literally this continent, and it's not one, no, it's the force and the force and everything. And it just, that's what's causing it. It's freaking, and then with the freaking groundwater gone, that's why our internal temperature is rising. 1 degree in freezing temperatures does not cause the fucking ice caps to melt. Frozen doesn't melt in freezing. That's stupid. And the icebergs are cracking and literally splitting and coming. And that's a whole other level of shit. So that's geothermal. And that's from all the groundwater being depleted and Yosemite heating up. And the groundwater was our internal temperature, kind of keeping everything under control. And then when you take that into effect and the ice melting, ice moves slower. Now it's moving, speeding up. Now you got these monster fucking hurricanes coming down. And that's our like umbilical cord, our belly button, but a lot, it's crazy. And if you look at it that way, I mean, it makes more sense. Just like with volcanoes, they're usually around, that's why they're around coastlines, because that's where it is, and they would. And it's basically where the water table exceeds the freaking, and it's a mudslide, and that's what forces it out. Because my whole thought was, how the hell does molten lava have pressure? It's impossible. It's molten lava. It's rock, minerals. It doesn't have steam or pressure. That's just ridiculous. So, but usually when they become close to erupting, they start steaming. That tells you the water's getting close. And then you have your mud. But Yosemite is a hydrogen bomb. That's a large body with the Idaho, because when Area 51 popped up out of there, I was like, why the fuck are they? And then they realized it extended into Idaho. When I started looking, I'm like, homie, that's the fucking water, and that's from the last, and that's where 10,000 Lakes comes from. And that's not, dinosaurs weren't dead from the asteroid. No, to be steam cooked like that was that, because that's what this would be, a pressure cooker. When that went off, all the water would evaporate instantly, fucking just everything. And that's how we got the 10,000. It wasn't an asteroid. I mean, it was the only other fucking eruption. That's what that was. And it's just, yeah, Colorado, yes, things erode things, but it did not erode no fucking Grand Canyon. I'm sorry. No, that was the blowout from the hydrogen when it, and the force back and the back pressure and everything else blew out that vent. And that makes more sense for earthquakes when they collapse and everything, how it could pop. Well, yeah, and that's why they, as it's collapsed, yeah, they're vents. So count the freaking vents. You can count from kilowatt. I forgot what I had. I had a formula for that. Each one begin. That's why when the shit comes up, it's coming up at like an angle, because it's that force from the water pushing up and push, and that's why the shit's coming up at an awkward angle instead of directly. If you look at it, it makes a hell of a lot more sense. And it's flip the mountain ranges over to the ocean, and they almost line up. You're almost going to get the same freaking indentation like the old Atlas when it was held open with the round ones. Overlay. That's exactly what it is. Man, well, but apparently we got Bill Nye the fucking butthead guy who's kind of, like I explained this technique, how it's working with the radiation and all that stuff with the stack, and they're using all this shit now, the weaponized shit, and freaking literally just because remote viewing, you have to hack in. It takes a current in order to get it. After a while, electricity starts to, we know what electricity does, and it starts to mat. And the longer it's on, and the more it starts to mat, the more severe the symptoms become, especially on the mind and everything else. Well, they mapped through it started at my ear through my teeth, and it would just sit there, and it took like 2 years. And then it went to my neck like it was hacking into my fucking neck. And then slowly through my arm and through my and yeah, when I started doing all that, it was breakthroughs, and now they become scientists, and now they need to shut me down. I'm not allowed no one around me. nothing near me, and there I've become some freaking secret experiment. And now the shit, like Google hacked everything. They stole my shit, like with the internet, the OUIs and all that, with the light and everything else to freaking do that. Really? And I found 7 videos. Entangled software? Great. Artificial intelligence? Sophie? Great. Because this shit was 3 seconds behind my thought. Now it tries to predict 3 seconds at 4 seconds. It's trying to take off. I don't even get a chance to anything. And now, yeah, like I got to die. It's imperative. I complete the program, dive into, so I'm going to be trapped in a fucking computer. Is that what you're saying? And no. So I've been fucking volunteered for all these fucking programs now. Apparently I was a mutant because I guess, like, negative. My blood type being A negative doesn't come from ape evolution. Apparently scientists say that negative blood types are extraterrestrial. So we either come from Genesis, the creator, or something himself, or angels, whatever, but we don't come from apes. And so I think why mine and others, we can't catch like HIV, we can't, it's from apes and it was derived from, so we're the percent that can't get that stuff. So freaking whatever other shit they're, but I start finding more stuff to start research. Like, what the fuck is all this shit now? Now there's so many more fucking things coming that, boy, they are getting really freaking, yeah, I'm not with this shit, homie. And I can tell the fucking symptoms of it now. It's all jealousy and revenge. Usually the nose goes down to here when it starts crushing, and like you sleep. Yeah, that compression on the frontal lobe's a motherfucker. I understand the Egyptians and the lobotomy, because that shit right there ain't no joke. Let me tell you, it shuts down everything. Your breathing, your blood, everything. And freaking, that's why I've learned to reverse engineer. And I go through and I'm always trying, I use magnets and everything else, and I can take some of the symptoms away. It's the only reason I'm alive. I should have been dead years ago. There's almost no reason I'm here, because my heart, I couldn't get none up. It was just accidental freaking run-ins to this shit, because no, man, my head was already being squeezed in. This eye was crooked, fucking everything. My nose was, and I've been starting to slowly peel myself apart. My teeth, it just, and I still got, but you can see where it comes in through the one side. Usually it's this side, and then you'll see the nose, and then it usually comes down to the sternum, and everything just starts crushing and fuck. And it looks like most of these people, the reporters and all the celebrities, they don't even know what this is. And that's a scary, but it's the savages and the ciphers. The ciphers are literally running around, living underground and stuff, siphoning off your electricity, off your water, off your everything. And then the savages are the fucking, well, yeah, these ones are just whatever fucking needed to fucking do the torture, but and all that crap. And then you got different variants of levels if you're, and that's what this is, a big savage cipher. And they got people convinced they're one or the other, and they're this and they're that. And then they're using the remote tech to be the voice of God and everything to get people to do this. Then the remote needs to get you to, because it controls emotions, to make a perfect opposite of you, or you, to get in with you, to freaking talk, you know what I mean, to know you, and play on passions, play on values, play on morals, just to infiltrate and mull in. And that's what they're doing. And they're using these freaking, sadly, all these fucking masks and all this shit to do that. And freaking, you got a doomsday, a racist brigade. There's other freaking country. I mean, this shit is fucking. And it started with me in Vegas, and I thought Trump was, because 6 months before he got in, even with my little car fucking thing, it popped up. And I thought they went to him to initiate, you mean possibly like a plan or an idea, since Vegas was a freaking, and he was running, but only to maul him and then get him and freaking target him. And then, you know, and then he was like third in command, thinking with freaking why Putin was so hell-bent to having him in. Then you see the stuff with Russia, and then everybody, and it's like he wasn't even really one of, he's like behind, you know what I mean, and playing this little freaking game. And boy, I sent letters, I tried to everything, but dude, shit's fucking not cool. And once they hit the dude in Mesquite, when I went to Mesquite in the casino, and I blew the doors off the casino, security had to come after they put them back on, because they were hitting me so hard there. And then shortly after that, freaking dude, in the stealth program on me, really? You ain't worried that the FBI says he was a targeted individual with the stealth program? Not a big deal that they might reveal to get secrets and idea. Really? No one else was concerned with that one right there, that we'd look more into this shit? The Cuban freaking strikes, the fucking, I mean, really? Because that shit's fucking nuts, homie. That nobody's concerned over that one. Or anything with this shit. Like, it just don't count. Now with the detention, I go around certain, because of neuropathy and stuff, I can feel it from the. So now, since this town, last three, I mean, it's like a 3-layer system. That's been into a mobile, and this shit is crazy. I mean, this, and then I watch people like they're leading groups of people around like they're fucking just enslaving us. I mean, anyone else? Or making you believe you're in on it just to get, and by getting you to do the one that justifies them doing unto you. You know what I mean? So making you believe you're with the freaking program. And I'm telling you, dude, there's layers of the system, and one of the, there's like, they don't care what the other, as long as I'm doing this. And I mean, I know some of the people in Vegas that sold their houses, got these little souped up bucking vans, all this shit with the shit in them and everything else, driving. This shit is not cool. So I'm just curious, anyone else concerned about any of this shit going on? Or is it just me? Nobody? Because there's women and stuff disappearing underground. They're I mean, they know where they're going to be. They know, and you have no ties to them because, well, how could you? They remote you. They're, you know, I mean, you can now get revenge. It's happening in the mining community, setting people up, knowing where the, and they just vanish without a trace. Enslave them, because I'm watching all this obsession starting to happen here. Then you get all this stuff on the site. Everybody's like, it's like, what the everybody's divorced. This shit's turning into some crazy shit. And dude, they know. And you just vanish. You know what I mean? And this shit, I mean, nobody's concerned yet. It's only me. Because that's scary. And if that's the case, okay. But, wow. Really? So, just one. Okay. Let me know. Bye, Don.